The first one is the agile methodologies because it helps you to adapt very fast and deliver projects on time. The second is risk management. No matter how good you are, if you don't know how to manage risk, you will run at a loss, no matter how much you pay. And thirdly is stakeholder engagement. Stakeholder engagement has been found to be one veritable tool that you must take very seriously. Because in delivering any project, the stakeholders are the most important, even more important than all the other things that you have. Because they are stakeholders, the community, they are stakeholders, the owners of the project are stakeholders. In fact, yesterday one of the speakers talked about the community extensively. And I like telling people that the community is the fourth tier of government, but it's not the constitution. And they are very powerful. So stakeholder engagement is critical for you to excel in project management. So I'll share with you my story. A story of a project that we handled in River State. This project had to do with mangrove revegetation in the Bodo Creek. At a certain time, Bodo had very serious hydrocarbon pollution that wiped out the entire mangrove in that area. And the project required revegetation of 2 million mangrove seedlings. That was the highest ever done across the world at one time. And that company, this ever consulting, happened to be one of the companies that wanted to deliver the first 15,000 mangrove seedlings in that area. In the course of delivering that project, we had to set up a team, and I hired locals to work with me on that project. And something interesting happened. The first phase we needed to deliver was to raise at least 17,000 nursery. And so in the course of having that engagement, I asked my team to brainstorm what are the issues, how do we raise the mangrove. One thing stood out, and they said to me, we need a specific soil texture. Because when you move the mangrove from the nursery to the creek, once it's just a replicated area, the guarantee of survival is very slim. And so they said to me, there is something we can do. There's a particular soil texture we would use to raise the mangrove. And I said, well, let me think about it. So these were locals just sharing with me what my father-in-law would call native intelligence. So I went back because I needed to back up what he had said with some data. I did extensive research, and thanks to the internet, I stumbled on a particular document, an article that was written and a research work that had been done by a prof who had experimented revegetation in polluted sites in the same Bodo community and Bodo Creek. So there was data for me to work with. And I had to look at the data, look at the soil texture, and it made scientific sense to me that what those guys were saying in layman's terms has scientific value. I took that data, analyzed it, and went back to them and said, go ahead with your proposition, just start with the nursery. I provided them all the resources they needed, and we set up our nursery. After that, we needed to organize the site. What happened? SPDC, the contract owner, said to us, you need to grow your nursery to 7 leaves before you can move to the site. I said to them, we have capacity to move to the site. We will plant and all mangrove seedlings will survive. They were scared. Why? No that in the world planting mangrove seedlings in a site that had just been replicated, and with so much assurance. And I said, fine, we're talking money here, we're talking risk management. Give us a goal. Let's deploy 1,000 seedlings. If they die, you get the cost. If they survive, you pay us and give us a compensation. And they agreed to it. So we mobilized the site. One of the proceedings, this is risk management. If they all die, don't forget, I've paid my team, all of them, including the experts. I will lose 1,000 mangrove seedlings. Is that understandable? And of course, a bad recommendation which could possibly lead to blacklisting if care was not taken. But science was on my side, analysis was on my side, and we went on to plan. 1008 manuscripts. We lost 100 manuscripts. We only had to replace how many? 20. Makes sense? And when we finished, amazingly, 3 years after, that's what you see at the bottom, your right, my left, your right. That's what you see, 3 years after. All of them are doing well, replaced the 20 that we lost, and we got paid, and we continued delivering on that project, and we successfully completed that project. Why did I share this story with you? It talks about something critical that we'll be talking about in a moment. Next slide, please. Critical thinking and problem solving is a very valuable, high-income skill. Without critical thinking and problem solving, we will not be able to deliver that project because it has never been done before at that scale. Let me announce this. Another company, there are 5 companies that have that project. Another company deployed about 4,000 siblings after us. They lost 2,000. Why did they lose 2,000? They didn't do their risk management properly. We understood the solid texture that we use to bridge the industry. Don't ask me what kind of solid texture because I won't tell you that secret. Alright. So what helped us was critical thinking and problem solving. The second thing that made a difference for us was data literacy and analysis. We're able to take data, analyze it, and utilize it. And lastly, emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is a very valuable high-income skill which helps in leadership. Listen to these guys. When they told me about the story, I did my research. I never went back to them to tell them I did research. I told these young men that you guys have the answer to, and I believe you. I trust you. You have grown up here all these years. You understand this thing better than me. I never had anyone prove to them that I'm the boss. Because emotional intelligence is your ability to understand how the other man will feel based on your reaction, and therefore will create either commitment or a loss of commitment on the project. And I utilize that. The moment I gave them credit, guess what happened? One of them told me, sir, I understand the time of this community, and I will take responsibility to provide us the schedule to be on site. Because of the nature of that project, you could wake up by 8 a.m. and the whole place is flooded, so you can't go to work. So he took the responsibility. Some days my team will go to work at 4 a.m. and we will leave site at 7 a.m. While others are trying to go to site and they can't work that day. But we have gained 4 to 7, how many hours? 3 hours. But other things will waste out because the time will rise, they can't work. So this young man took that responsibility and we delivered 25% faster because we had a team that understood the environment better. That is emotional intelligence that brought that. Let me give you a bonus. There are 2 sets of high-income skills. I give you one for career people, I give you one for business people, so that you can take something more from the presentation. Next slide, please. So for skills, high for career people, leadership and strategic thinking is critical. You cannot excel as a career person if you continue the way you were. I like what the registrar stated. He got there, he couldn't use the Microsoft Outlook. He got there, he couldn't take minutes, but he made a commitment. He started thinking strategically, what do I do to move from where I was to where I need to be? Negotiation and persuasion. It's very important to learn this because times will come when if you don't have the capacity to negotiate your way out of it or to negotiate better things, you will be left at the same place. I have worked in an organization where I was earning higher than my peers. Why? I was able to negotiate. And I learned it from one of my friends who told me that he was offered a job and he negotiated at the beginning and he worked for 6 years without experience. But even at that 6 years, he was still getting higher than other contemporaries. So negotiation and persuasion is a good skill you need to learn. The third one for career people is digital literacy. You remember the time when you write shorthand? I used the typewriter. We were the goddess of every organization. And then the electronic typewriter came up there. They managed to pivot Before we knew Y2K ball, computers came. Today, if you are computer literate, it doesn't take you anywhere. You must be digitally literate. It's a high income skill. For business owners, 3 skills you need to have amongst others: sales and marketing expertise. No matter how good your product is, if you don't sell it, you don't make money. Secondly, financial management. You make all the money, you can't manage the finances, you know the end of the story. And thirdly, brand building and storytelling. Everything in the world today lines up to tell your story. Let's look at the evolving role of project management in all of this. Next slide, please. The evolution from traditional approaches to agile, lean, and hybrid models is right. In this day and age, you cannot do without it. Project management has become a critical tool for bridging strategy and execution. This is very important today. Before now, using project management as a career, as for certain people, I say to you today, irrespective of what you do, project management is in the heart of it all. So the emphasis is on adaptability. We're in a fast-changing world. In fact, changes happen in the world in small bits. 4 years to 6 years, things will change. It is like a solar curve, that's how it goes. But major changes happen in the world within 3 to 4 decades. There is always a major change. In world history, you will notice that every 4 to 6 years, certain little changes will occur. But majorly, every 30 years to 40 years, there is a major global shift. And so you need to understand that project management is that skill we need, and adaptability is critical. I'll give you studies briefly. One is geolocation in Nigeria. They utilize, next slide, they utilize the agile methodology and the principles of agile to move the operations and deliver projects 25% faster than they usually do. And how were they able to achieve this? Through the agile methodology. What were the components they considered? Number 1, customer collaboration. They are one company that know how to collaborate with their customers, both in all the possible phases which we don't want to bring to alcohol. They also are good in adaptive planning, and they understand the use of cross-functional teams. But most importantly, they focus on individuals and interactions. There are certain things you do in your project that can cost you time if you don't have good understanding of how to interact with the people on your team. This is one thing I have seen that JP, Nigeria, have been able to do. That's why you see them doing a lot of projects across. And of course, emphasis on working software is a very successful factor for them. Let's move quickly to the data refinement. It's something we all talk about. You can't talk anything in this mission for the next 1 week without mentioning that to the front. If you drive a car, it's a constant. But for project management, what does it imply for us? For project management, it is to be able to show a seamless collaboration across departments. All the plants are within the same area, very seamlessly working together and delivering high value. That is something amazing. If you go to Ottawa, there is also a refinery, but it's separate from the petrochemical plant. And so there is no integration, there is no collaboration. Of course, the petrochemical plants are sold many years ago, we know that. But you see, this integration by Dangote refinery is seamless. Another value you find is the deployment of modern project management tools in setting up that refinery. Thirdly, and most importantly for me, is the fact that it shows the powerful delivery of project management in mind, scale, and complexity. That is a testament that with project management, the scale is not the problem, the complexity is not the problem. Let's look at some actionable insights. By 2030, we will be spending 90% more of our time in problem solving and 40% more of our time in critical thinking. What does that say to you? 20 and you bring out money to those who have this skill. And so it is very important that you embed this high income skill into your project management framework. You also need to leverage tools like Agile, Canva, and Scrum. Of course, in project management, you will know that you can't run away from this using Agile methodology. Toyota uses Canva, and they are so good at it. So good that they produce JIT just in time. And it gives their delivery, gives their product, your line, your short line. Good thinking, good products. I'm not advertising for your brand. And then the third exercise is foster a culture of continuous learning and adaptability. You need to learn and adapt. It's important. You can't survive this world of today if you don't continually learn. It's something that you need to take very seriously. And I believe that's why we're here at this conference, because we want to work still. Let me begin to draw my curtains gradually, because I made a promise to keep to time. Project management is that bridge. Next slide, please. Project management is that bridge between ideas and success. It is the bridge between ideas and success. If you block project management out of the equation, your ideas will never materialize. Now, what does that tell you? It tells you one thing. Next slide. I can actually move ahead because I have it somewhere up there. Project management is not just a skill, it's an imperative. Thank you for how much you emphasize this. Project management is not just a skill, it is an imperative. In other words, you cannot do without it. If you want to fly from Abuja to Port Harcourt, it's a project because it's initiated. Am I correct? You plan your trip, isn't it? You're built by buying tickets and all of that. You're going to need to control that trip. Like waiting to the airport and all of that. And then when you arrive, you get your final destination, you close. So you can't live life without project management. It is an imperative. Finally, I intend to say finally once. I've asked you guys to have said finally 4 times, but let me say finally once. Jim Rohn, an entrepreneur and development coach, said, your skills determine your value in the marketplace. I repeat those words. Your skills determine your value in the marketplace. If you agree with me that your skills determine your value in the marketplace, then